he was saying that some players, goals were an issue, but some players have managed to score under him, none more so than Beto. He's got 4 goals in his last 3 Premier League games. That's as many goals as he had in his first 44 Premier League games.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just happens like that. This one, again, you know, it's a good finish. And sometimes he deserves a lot of credit, because when you come into the team and you've had long periods without scoring, and you come to the team and you're not confident, and as a forward you need rhythm. But when you see some of the finishes, he looks like someone that's been scoring all season. And he's scoring big goals as well. You know, when you need it at this stage of the season, where it matters, the second part of the season. And he likes that finish, that little Thierry Henry run. He's quite consistent with it. But no, you just have to be happy for players like that, because you know the results are so important at the minute, and you know you can rely on him because you know he's confident and he's scoring goals.
Yeah, contrastingly, you know, Everton changing manager midway, Manchester United also changing manager midway. It's gone very differently for them. They're struggling. I asked you earlier on about the relegation problem and who's out of it, who's safe, who's still in the fight. I said, surely Manchester United are fine. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a buffer. I think if, you know, 12 points separate them and the teams in the relegation zone currently, but you know, I wouldn't consider them completely safe. I think we've seen crazier things happen in the Premier League over the years, but I find what's more worrying is just when you watch them play, that they're not particularly enjoyable to watch. There's a lot of teams in the Premier League, they've got their style, and you actually enjoy watching them. Manchester United, you don't really know what you're going to get or what to expect. And it's concerning. I still think there's probably a little longer for them to go in this period of just this run of form that they're in. This obviously was the Wolves game where, you know, that was the second goal that ended up killing the game, but there's been too many of these performances when they've let teams score, they've not been clinical, they've not kept the ball out their own net.
There seems to be a lack of quality though.
Yeah.
When you look at the players that have left, even going back to like the Pogbas, and obviously Ronaldo came back, and you know Rashford more recently, Sancho, these are top players, and it just seems to be a lack of quality. Even there, it's too easy, no organisation. You know, teams like Crystal Palace, who in the season like struggled in that. Even the other teams that have struggled, you know, you go to Old Trafford now, you think
teams relish it.
Yeah, we relish it. We look forward to this one because this is where we get our points. I remember being a young kid. I think it was 2000, 2001 season, standing down the tunnel, looking to my right hand side and seeing the players there, and it's just like, this is going to be tough. You have to stay in the game. And now to talk about Man United like being safe, it's just like it's crazy, to be honest. But yeah, the manager's got some job in his hands in that, because I just don't believe the quality is there.
Yeah, they lost against your former team Spurs at the last time out. Think about the bench for Manchester United. I think Victor Lindelof was the only player over 19 years old on the bench. Only one other player had Premier League experience, that was Aiden Heaven, and not at Manchester United. It's so different.
It is different, but years ago, you know, that class of 92, was it? Beckham, Scholes, Neville's, and you like to think at some stage these players will come through and become great players for Man United, but it's so difficult for young players to come to the team when the team's not doing well. And actually, they probably would have done better playing some of the younger players. Just a little bit more energy, something to prove. They had chances against Tottenham. You know, Garnacho had a great chance, just wasteful. But like I said, I just don't believe there's that, especially in the top end of the pitch, there's that quality there.
Yeah, so it's Manchester United against their former manager, David Moyes, leading Everton. Can't wait to hear your predictions for that one. Before games for you, now it's prediction time, and it's down to Jermaine and Rachel to tell us their thoughts for the games remaining this weekend. We start with Everton versus Manchester United.
I'm going to say one each for that one.
Everton 2-0. Trust me.
Okay, next one, Arsenal, West Ham.
Arsenal 3-1.
I think 3-0 there.
Bournemouth, Wolves.
That'll be a good game. 2-1 Bournemouth.
I was going to say 2-1 Bournemouth.
Okay, Fulham, Palace.
Ooh.
Yeah.
2-2.
Oh, 1-0 Fulham.
Ipswich, Spurs.
Ipswich at home, I'm going to say 2-0 Ipswich.
Really?
Yeah.
It's out of order. I think 2-1 Spurs.
Southampton, Brighton.
Brighton 2-0.
3-0 Brighton.
Villa, Chelsea. You can take a bit of time with this one.
I'm going to say a very biased 3-0 Villa.
Yeah, I think 2-0 Villa.
Newcastle, Forest.
It's a hard place to go, Newcastle. I think Forest will win, you know. I think 2-1.
What do you think, Rachel?
I can see goals there. I'm saying 3-3.
Oh,
Wow.
giving us some
Yeah.
big draws this weekend.
That's a big one.
Optimistic.
Yeah,
I'm all
exactly.
for it. I'm all for it. Right, you got to break this down for us, though. Manchester City versus Liverpool. I need a winner, and why?
I do think.
Or a draw.
I think City need a response, and I think we will get one. I think I'm going to say 3-2 City.
Oof.
I'm going to say 3-2 Liverpool.
Oh, I like that you're giving us goals.
I know that obviously the response and stuff and that, but Liverpool, and especially in this game, set the standard.
Well, that's where we leave it. Thank you to Rachel. It's Jermaine's bedtime, so we got to go. See you all next time. Enjoy the football.
Yes, because we didn't lose players, we recovered players. Chris, Manu and Lenny return. And with Chris was a misunderstanding, and I want to be really clear on that. Also because of Chris, he's healthy and is ready to play so for many years in a high level. Just my limitation explaining the injuries, and I want to let this really clear. I felt that the week is really good. I see things in training, but sometimes it's hard to pass that to the game. But I feel that they are improving. Sometimes we cannot show that in the game, but I hope that tomorrow is another opportunity to show a better performance.
Good news on Christian. In terms of the others, when are you expecting bodies back? Because the fixture list is going to get very busy.
Well, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Ahmad is for a long time. I think Mays continue to make his recover. Luke continue to make this recover. I don't have a day. Toby seems to be the closest one, but not now. So Kobe is recovering. I don't know. We'll have to adapt to use the plays that we have for the schedule.
What about the goalkeeping situation?
Altai is making the recover. Tom is making the recover. We don't have a day, but they are recovering.
Everton have been revitalised under David Moyes. I think it's 4 wins from 5 in the Premier League. What makes them so difficult now compared to just a few weeks ago?
Just the confidence. The way they play, they believe it a lot. They are winning games. They are being really competitive. So it's an amazing job by David Moyes to recover the team, and you feel it. And when you watch the game, you feel it that the confidence and the belief are there. So it's going to be a really hard game.
He obviously had a difficult time here as a manager, more than a decade ago, and every other manager since then has found it quite difficult. Does it show that it's almost an impossible job, your job?
No, it showed that it's a difficult job, and again we have to try to understand the history. This club had a figure that is you cannot replace, and in Sir Alex Ferguson, and then it's a hard job to do it because everything was connected with one person, and when that person leaves, it's really hard. But he's, like I said, he's doing an amazing job. He did an amazing job with West Ham, so it's that kind of coach that is really hard to win games.
Good afternoon. You've got Sociedad in the European draw. You've got Fulham to come up in the FA Cup. How important is it for you that you win a trophy this season now to rescue what's been a really disappointing and frustrating season?
I just want to win Everton, to be really, really clear on that. I think we are in a difficult situation in Premier League. We have a lot of issues to solve in every game. And if you see our performance, if I'm focused on a game against Real Sociedad and thinking about trophies in the moment, I think is not the right way to do my job in the moment. So I just focus and I just want to win against Everton.
The team have had a bonding session by all accounts this week. Have you seen evidence of that? Do they feel a little bit more together this week?
For me, it's more important in training. And what I see in training is that they are improving. They are creating relationship. Even the sound of the training is different. But like I said, we have to use that in the game, and we have to see it in the game, and we have to take that step. I feel it in training that we are bonding and we are understanding the way we want to play. But then in the game, I feel that we struggle a lot.
How does the sound change?
So
The sound. How does the sound
but the
change?
sound is like when you are in practice, when you are just making an exercise, you feel the sound. People are talking, asking for the ball, giving directions, talking with each other, and you can feel it in the environment. If you spend your life as a football player and as a coach, even the sound of the training is important. So I feel that we are changing that. But again, everything resumes to the game on Sunday or Saturday or whatever. So it's important to use that in the game.
Chairman, hi Ruben. Just 4 wins in 14 Premier League games since you took charge. You said after the Spurs games you're going to stick to your beliefs. At what point do you start getting worried that you're not getting what you want out of the group and you need to evolve?
The first point, guys, makes no mistake. I just want to win games. That is the point. And then I teach what I know. That is also clear with me. So when I say I stick with my beliefs is the way I train, the way I see football, and try to transmit that to the players. So it's nothing that I will not adapt, because we adapt. Sometimes we have goal kicks like we short plays, and then in some games long balls because the opponent is pressing a lot, and I try to adapt to the players that I have. So my focus is to win games, especially in this moment.
A lot of talk about what isn't working at the moment. What do you feel is working for your side at the moment?
What I feel is that sometimes you don't feel improvement in the team, but then you have some games that you think that are more difficult, and you feel that we can play, we can create situations. That is a good thing. But I think in this moment you can see, when you watch the games, you can see more problems than solutions. I think that is clear. But when we play some games, I feel it that things are there and we are capable, but we have to be consistent. That's it.
Manchester United make their final trip to Goodison Park to face Everton in the Premier League at lunchtime this Saturday. Ruben Amorim's tenure continues to go from bad to worse at Old Trafford, while their former manager David Moyes is having a sensational start in his second spell with the Toffees. Relegation was a very real concern for Everton just a matter of weeks ago, but an astonishing change in fortunes under Moyes means they now found themselves above Man United in the Premier League table. This is the latest in a season Everton have been above the Red Devils since they finished higher than them in the 2013-14 season, when Moyes was in charge at United and was sacked after losing at Goodison. Everton won just 3 of the 19 league games with Sean Dyche in charge before his sacking, scoring 7 goals from open play, but Moyes has already managed more in both departments in just 6 matches, winning 4 and scoring 8 open play goals. That exceptional start continued with a fine win at Selhurst Park last weekend against Crystal Palace, as Carlos Alcaraz's first goal for the club sealed a late win for the Toffees, in a game where they also scored their first counter-attack goal of the season. With the top 5 set to earn Champions League football next season, Everton are now as close to that than they are to relegation, with 13 points the gap between both. That should mean the top 8 will all earn places in Europe, but a 9-point gap to 8th place looks insurmountable at this stage of the season for Everton, unless this remarkable run of form continues for the rest of the campaign. Despite facing another club where there is some ill feeling between the sets of supporters, it is unlikely to reach the same atmosphere levels as the dramatic Merseyside derby in their last outing here, but the reality of leaving Goodison was apparent in the week, as Everton held their first test event at their new waterfront stadium. In their final fixture against Man United here, the hosts will be desperate to improve on a recent woeful record against the Red Devils, despite their well-documented troubles. Everton have lost 5 in a row against United, losing the last 4 by a combined score of 11-0, and you have to go back to the late 1950s to find the last time they lost 5 successive matches against a single opponent without scoring versus Wolves. It was a 4-0 win for United in the reverse fixture, which served as something of a false dawn given their struggles since, but even Amorim admitted that scoreline flattered them in a quite bizarre 90 minutes where they scored for goals from an XG of just 0.73. Amorim's side have gone on to lose 8 of their 12 league games since, including 5 from 6 at home, but the new manager will hope he can tap into the club's fine record against Everton to seal a third straight win at Goodison. Last season's meeting here gained huge attention as it came just after Everton's 10-point deduction, leading to huge fan protests both outside and inside the stadium, but that fell flat within 3 minutes when Alejandro Garnacho scored his Puskás award-winning overhead kick on the way to another slightly flattering 3-0 win.